like every other game this year.
I like Orange Lutheran's offense against St. John Bosco's defense. I like the triple option. I just don't think that Bosco's a young defense. Bosco, I mean, at 16, 17 years old, you're not seeing the triple option. And I mean, look how effective Air Force, Navy, and Army. Look at those top college programs, and they're very effective with the triple option offense. And I think that what Chuck Peterson's done here at Olu, obviously Olu hasn't been able to perfect the craft, but even though Olu, a playoff team from a year ago, a team with a much better record in league play a year ago, as for 2 years ago as well, I think this is Chuck Peterson in his third year. I think this is the best team that he's had offensively. And I think we're all going to see why on Friday night. I think Orange Lutheran, they put up points, but it's just too back and forth. And I think at the end of the day, Orange Lutheran, yeah, they're going to be taking a lot of time off the clock and keeping Rosen and McGrew to the sideline, but I just think that gives Rosen and the offense more time to just, 2-3 plays and get themselves into the end zone. So I don't know. I mean, it really could go either way if we're coming at this from a non-biased perspective. If you're really trying to respect an Orange Lutheran team, like the thing that I come back to is they lost last week with 16 seconds left to go on the clock. They lost 2 weeks ago with 4 seconds left on a field goal, and then they lose in overtime to a really, really good Corona Centennial team. So take it or leave it. I think Olu comes close in this one, and they put up a lot of points.
That would really stink. The fourth straight game that they lose by less than a touchdown. That would be so disappointing. And you can't buy them into the postseason with that. You can't.
But here's something else we got to factor in, and this is a plus for Bosco. If you're Orange Lutheran, you're coming off of back-to-back demoralizing losses. How's your team going to respond to that type of adversity? They responded well last week. They should have won last week, but they coughed it up again. And But here's the thing. You're getting ready to play the number one team in the state, and you know that. And if you're Orange Lutheran, you know that you could very easily be 7-0 right now. And I.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, Orange Lutheran could be 7-0 very easily right now. They've lost the most points they've lost the game in, like I mentioned, 3 points, and those are both to top 5 teams in the Southern section.
The only thing I wanted to add is losses like how Orange Lutheran has taken, it trains you mentally, and it says...
Yeah, well, I agree, Dan.
Are we good enough?
I agree 100%, but that's the thing. That I know they're... I don't think you really question yourself. I don't know. I've never been in that situation. I've never played in the Trinity League for football. But I will tell you this. When you're getting prepped to play the number one team in the state, you're not going to come out flat if you're Orange Lutheran. You're going to be as pumped for this game as you are for any. You know you're 0-2. You know if you lose this one, you're probably out of postseason contention. Olu's, this is do or die for them, and they're going to come out hard. That's why I think they're going to make this a really close game.
Yeah, let me add to that, though. Speaking to my experience of losing football games, back in Florida, obviously, back in that time, it was definitely exciting to watch. But what I will mention is that with those kind of losses, the coaching staff has more, I guess, speaking power. I know this sounds kind of weird, but it's 16 and 17-year-old kids who after a couple of losses, sure they're demoralized, but the game doesn't necessarily linger as much because there's a new one the next week. I just think overall, Olu will be ready to play, just like as Chris said, and we'll get their best performance. Don't take the loss as a demoralizing. They'll come out flat in this one. I think they'll give it everything that they have because no matter win or loss with any of these 7 teams we faced, we've gotten the best version of every single ball club we've faced this year. Modern day turns around after a close loss. It makes things interesting against Servite, and then I think Olu will be the same thing. With the best that they have, and they'll return back down to earth. After a game against St. John Bosco. Teams happen every year. We get the best of every ball club, and it'll happen again.
Should be a good one on Friday night. Make sure to tune in to on everything going around high school football and more on the Hambones Bar and Grill pregame show. 7:30 kickoff, 7:10 the pregame show gets underway. That's all we have for you tonight on the discussion high school football / JUCO football report. Also, don't forget to tune in right here on Spreaker.com /National Sports to number 1 versus number 2. We can't wait. Mount Sac against RCC, 6 p.m. the kickoff in that one. For Dan Gadino and Nick Rice, my name's Chris Sylvester. A special shout out to Bonnie. Good night.